All right, today we're going to dive into what I think is one of the secret engines of the whole crypto world, Chainlink. You might not see it, but it's this essential bridge that connects blockchains to all the real-world data we use every day. We're going to break down exactly how it all works. So here's what we're going to cover. First, we'll tackle the big problem that smart contracts face right out of the box. Then we'll see how Chainlink steps in as a data bridge, get into how its oracles work, and look at some awesome real-world examples. After that, we'll weigh the risks against the rewards, and finally, we'll wrap it all up with why people call it the essential plumbing of Web3. First up, the smart contract problem. Now, I want you to picture a certified genius who's trapped inside a sealed box. It's brilliant, incredibly powerful, but its whole world is just the inside of that box. Very, very small. To really wrap our heads around this, let's start with a big question. What if a contract, for an insurance policy or a bet or a financial agreement, what if it could just execute itself? Automatically. No lawyers, no banks, no middlemen needed at all. That's the revolutionary idea we're starting with. And yeah, that's exactly what a smart contract is. It's just a bit of code that lives on a blockchain, and it follows one simple rule. If this thing happens, then do that thing, automatically. So, if the package is delivered, then the payment is released. It's simple, it's efficient, and it's basically unstoppable. But, and this is a huge but, there's a catch. That genius in the box? Well, it has no windows. Blockchains, by their very design, are these isolated, closed-off systems. That's what makes them so secure. But it also means they have absolutely no idea what's happening in the outside world. They can't check stock prices, or see a weather report, or look up sports scores on their own. So how in the world do you solve this massive isolation problem? Well, that is exactly where Chainlink comes in. It was designed from the ground up to be the ultimate data bridge. Honestly, the best way to picture Chainlink is as this super secure, heavily fortified bridge. On one side, you have the isolated island of the blockchain. On the other, the huge continent of real-world data. Chainlink connects the two, letting information flow back and forth safely and reliably. And we're talking about pretty much any kind of data you can think of. Its whole job is to find that external data, whether for crop insurance, financial prices for DeFi apps, shipping info for supply chains, and feed it right to the smart contracts that need it to do their job. Okay, so how does this bridge actually work? To really get the mechanics, let's use a simple story. Think about a farmer, an insurance contract, and whether or not it's going to rain. The secret sauce here is something called an oracle. Now, it sounds kind of mystical, but oracles are really just independent data providers. Their whole job is to go out into the real world, find a specific piece of information, and then report it back to the blockchain as accurately as possible. And this little story just illustrates the whole process perfectly. Let's walk through it. A smart contract for crop insurance asks a simple question. Did it rain more than 2 inches today? Chainlink gets that request and blasts it out to its network of oracles. Those oracles then go check a bunch of trusted weather websites. Chainlink grabs all their answers, filters out any weird ones, and delivers a single verified yes or no back to the contract. And if the answer is yes, bam, the smart contract instantly pays out the insurance claim to the farmer. Done. So, what stops these oracles from just lying? Well, that's where the LINK token comes in. It's all about economic incentives. Oracles get paid in LINK for providing good, correct data, but they also have to lock up their own LINK as a kind of security deposit. They've got skin in the game. If they provide bad data, they lose those tokens they staked. It's the fuel that keeps the entire network trustworthy. Okay, so that's the theory. But where is Chainlink actually being used out in the wild today? Let's take a look at some of the real-world applications that are already live. The biggest use case by far is in decentralized finance, or DeFi. I mean, think about all those lending, borrowing, and trading apps. They all need to know the exact up-to-the-second price of different assets to work properly. Chainlink's price feeds provide that crucial data. Honestly, without it, the entire DeFi ecosystem just couldn't function securely. And then there's insurance, just like with our farmer. Imagine you buy flight insurance that's built on a smart contract. The moment Chainlink's oracles confirm your flight was delayed by more than 2 hours, you get an instant automatic payout. No filling out claim forms, no waiting on hold with customer service, just pure automated efficiency. And hey, it's not all about serious finance stuff either. In the world of gaming and NFTs, fairness is everything. Chainlink provides something called a verifiable random function, which is really just a fancy way of saying it gives developers a source of randomness that's provably fair. So when that super rare item drops in a game, you know for a fact the odds weren't stacked against you. And looking to the future, Chainlink is actually expanding its mission. So instead of just building bridges to the real world, its new protocol is designed to build bridges between different blockchains. This is a huge deal because it lets all these isolated networks securely send messages and assets to each other, connecting the entire Web3 ecosystem like never before. But look, no technology is a perfect silver bullet. So to get the full picture, we really need to take a balanced look at both the strengths of Chainlink and, of course, the risks involved. So on the plus side, you've got its trusted reputation, huge adoption, and real-world utility that's undeniable. But the risks are definitely there, too. You've got new competition popping up, its value totally depends on developers continuing to build with it, and of course, it's tied to the wild swings of the crypto market. It's powerful, for sure, but its dominance is not a guarantee. Okay, let's bring this all home and wrap up with the single most important idea. If you remember just one thing about Chainlink, it should be this. It is the essential plumbing of Web3. Think about it. When you turn on the faucet in your kitchen, you don't think about the complex network of pipes that makes it all work. You just expect clean water to come out. Well, that's Chainlink for a massive number of decentralized apps. It's that invisible but absolutely critical infrastructure working behind the scenes that lets everything else run smoothly. So, to really put a bow on it, blockchains are secure, but they're isolated. The real world is dynamic and it's full of data. Chainlink solves this fundamental disconnect. It's the secure translator between these two separate worlds. And by doing that, it unlocks the true, automated power of smart contracts. And that really just leaves us with one final massive question. If you can securely connect any real-world data to an unstoppable contract on a blockchain, what are we going to build next? The possibilities? Well, they're only just beginning to be explored. Thanks for tuning in.